This week we sample Harley-Davidson's all-new 1200 Sportster Custom. Now, Harley buffs will tell you that the Sportster model, considered by some to contain the purest of original Harley blood, well, better make that oil lines, was first introduced back in 1957. Heck, Elvis rode one. Anyway, this year, Harley-Davidson updated the performance of the Sporty's air-cooled 45-degree single-carb engine by adding new cams, lighter pistons and rods, and raising overall engine compression. The revised engine was then rubber-mounted for the first time in its 46-year history into a beefier frame. Harley then added a larger fuel tank, a lower seat, forward foot controls, swept-back handlebar, a spoked front wheel, and bullet headlight. And voila! What you see before you is a very custom version of the original 1200 Sportster. So how does it all work? Well, we invited a current Harley 883 Sportster owner, Ann Hagerman, to sample the new 1200 Custom. And here's what she had to say after a day of custom cruising on a Sporty.
So Ann, you have an 883, and the most obvious question everyone's going to ask you is there a big difference when you jump up to the 1200?
Quite a big difference when you're giving her the gas.
Yeah.
You're going to sit on it when you crank the throttle. You're really going to go. It's going to sit you back in the seat.
Yeah.
And I do believe the seat is more comfortable than the 883. I like this seat too. It's a big jump up, I believe, but it's a good jump.
So it's the torque you like, right?
It's the torque
and you
I
can
like,
feel
yeah.
it's definitely torqueier than an 83.
It is. It is.
Were there any really sort of other instantaneous differences? Does the riding position feel the same when you jump on?
It's a little bit different. The risers are a pullback riser on this bike.
Yeah.
And I feel that I'm not reaching for the handlebars all the time. A little bit more comfortable for your arm and shoulder and hand position. The other thing that I liked about it was that the controls and the pegs are forward controls and pegs.
Right.
So you feel like you're more relaxed, sitting back, enjoying the ride, and that's what you're supposed to do.
Right, because with the 883, your feet are a little further back and
Yes,
they're kind
they
of right
are.
underneath you, right?
Yes, they are. The other thing I like about the 1200 as compared to the 883 is this new one has the battery right under the seat.
Okay.
You can't see the battery. It makes it look sleeker, a little bit more stylish for a sport bike.
Right.
And I like the oil tank too. It has a pop button here for the dipstick, which is new for the 1200.
It's cleaner.
A lot cleaner, a lot more sleek looking. It's still a sporty bike. Also in the handlebars, the speedometer has been pulled forward and put down a little bit. So.
Well, one thing I did notice right away was all the integrated stuff. Like
Yes.
This is really nice to have stuff sort of hidden away. It's very custom.
Very custom, so.
In a modern way.
Yeah, it is.
Well, it's been a long time since I've ridden a Sportster, maybe a decade, and the first thing that impressed me was the smoothness of everything, lack of vibration. I was amazed. The mirrors were clear, the bars were not tingling my hands, the feet. Did you notice the same thing?
I noticed the same thing. The first thing that I noticed was you could actually see something in the mirrors when you looked in the mirror, not just a lot of vibration. My feet didn't tingle, my arms don't tingle. With the rubber-mounted engine, it's far better. Very, very little vibration. Even when you get into the triple digits, there's no vibration on it.
Another thing, obviously, with Harley-Davidson, they want to get more women involved in riding.
Yes.
You're a great example. And I get concerned about the clutch and whether it's going to be a stiff clutch or a hard pull. It's really easy. They've really lightened that somehow, but the clutch is definitely lighter, right?
It's a really, really easy pull on the clutch. You could drive and change gears all day and never have a stiff hand with this clutch. It's very easy, very light, and gear shifting is terrific too. I like that.
What did you think about the brakes?
They're brakes.
Oh, come on, they're better than I remember.
No, they are better. They are better. The back brake is excellent.
Yeah.
Front brake I'm not too stuck on. It could be maybe a little bit better.
Well, what do you think about the fit, the finish, and just the overall styling?
It's got a beautiful swept back appearance for a sport bike. My favorite color is chrome, and it does have enough chrome on it, although everybody likes to add their own little pieces here and there.
Sure. Anything you didn't like?
I don't think there's anything I didn't like. I would take some getting used to get for my feet on the forward pegs. but I could get used to that. The gas tank is a little bit wider, and I could get used to putting more gas in and going a little bit further. Overall, I thoroughly enjoyed it, Dave.
Well, you certainly had a great big smile on your face every time you rode by our cameras this morning. Thanks very much for joining us today.
Thanks, Dave.